Greetings to you and welcome to this episode of Grace Podcast. I'm Timothy Muse. I'll be your host as we spend this time together today. It's a joy to be with you. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for making this podcast a part of your journey. And as always, I want to thank you for being on this journey. I want to thank you for being here, for being present, for looking into places in your life that need some attention, and then having the courage to intentionally do that. If this podcast is helpful for you, I'm glad. I really, truly am. Please share it out there. Put it out there for others. If you've gained benefit from this, then help others gain benefit from it. Please put it out there on your social media feeds. I post on LinkedIn, X, Instagram, and Facebook. You follow me or the Life Coaching on any one of those feeds, you're going to see these new episodes. And so share them out there. Tag me in it. I'd love to see where you're at. If you're on one of the listening platforms, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, then follow us, give us a rating and review. Every positive rating and review tells the platforms that people are listening to the podcast. And you'll get a notification when a new episode comes out. And if you want to reach out to me directly, GraceLifeCoaching.com is the website. I truly would love to hear from you. GraceLifeCoaching.com. So where you can get a hold of me. If you want to do some coaching, if you want to do some meditation, some Reiki, some sound bath, if you got some questions, if you're just not sure where you're at and you want to have a conversation, reach out to me. GraceLifeCoaching.com. So we're going to wrap up our series on the power of social media. Over the past episodes, we've explored the power of social media has over our lives, comparison and self-worth, attention and distraction, identity and authenticity, relationships and loneliness, mental health and emotional well-being, using social media for growth, building healthy boundaries, influence and responsibility. So today, I want to bring it all together. I want to bring it all together so that you can reclaim your life, using social media without losing yourself. And if there's one idea I hope that you carry away from this entire series, it's this. Social media is a tool. It should serve your life, not become your life. Okay? Social media is a tool. It should serve your life, not become your life. The goal was never to convince you to delete every app. The goal was never to make you afraid of technology. The goal was never to create guilt. The goal was awareness. Because awareness creates choice, and choice creates freedom. So today we're going to wrap it up, talk about building healthy, sustainable relationships with social media, one that allows you to enjoy its benefits without sacrificing your peace, purpose, relationships, and identity. So let's just spend a moment looking at what we've learned. Let's go back. Let's just kind of look throughout this series. We've discovered that social media affects far more than entertainment, though it seems to be an entertainment platform. And if we don't look at it in depth, if we just see it as an entertainment platform, then we don't realize the effect it has on us. It affects how we think, how we feel, how we spend our time, how we see ourselves, how we relate to others, and how we experience the world. We've learned that social media is designed to capture attention. We've learned that comparison can steal joy. We've learned that constant connectivity can increase anxiety. We've learned that relationships require more than digital interaction. We've learned that boundaries matter. We talk about boundaries a lot on this podcast. Boundaries do matter. We've learned that influence carries responsibility. Most importantly, we've learned that intentionality matters because the difference between healthy use and unhealthy use comes down to awareness and choice. It comes down to intentionality. So that may lead to a question. How much social media is too much? That's not necessarily the most important question. The better question might be, what role is social media playing in my life? You see, it's subjective between some and others. Some people have no social media at all. Some people use social media for hours a day. So it's not necessarily about how much social media is too much. You can't really quantify a time in a subjective thing. But the better question is, what role is social media playing in my life? Think about it. Is it a helpful tool? Is it a source of learning? Is it a way to stay connected? Or has it become a distraction, an escape, a habit you can't control, a source of anxiety, a replacement for real life? The issue isn't simply time. It's not about the amount of time that you have on social media. It's influence. How is social media shaping your life? Because two people can spend the same amount of time online and have completely different experiences. Intentional use and unconscious use are not the same thing. And the goal is to help us see our use of social media as intentional and not just, unhealthy, not just unconscious, not just scrolling and numbing. One of the biggest dangers in life is drifting. Okay. And that's really what unconscious use is. It's drifting, not making intentional choices, just allowing circumstances to decide. And that's exactly what happens with social media for so many people. They don't choose their habit simply develops. They don't choose how much time they spend online, they just keep scrolling. They don't choose what influences them, they absorb whatever appears in front of them. Drifting is easy. Intentionality requires effort. But intentionality is where meaningful life begins. The people who live the most fulfilled lives are usually not those who are drifting through it. They are the people who decide what matters most and organize their lives around their priorities. The same principle applies to technology. Perhaps the most important lesson that I want you to take out of this series is that your attention is your life. Think about it. Where your attention goes, your thoughts flow, your emotions flow, your energy flows, your actions flow. Eventually, your life follows your attention. Every day, you are investing attention somewhere. We don't move through life without investing attention. Our attention is always invested somewhere. The question is, where? Who gets your best attention? What gets your best attention? Do your values receive your attention? Do your relationships receive your attention? Do your goals receive your attention? Does your health receive your attention? Or has your attention been captured by endless distraction? Attention is one of the most valuable resources you possess. So protect it carefully. Protect it very carefully. Because we can easily drift through life, letting things take our attention. And you know what? That doesn't take as much energy. Intentionality takes energy. It takes investment. When we have to focus our attention, it takes energy away. It takes intentionality. Okay. And that's the struggle. Drifting is easy. We can just drift through life. We can just drift through our time online, and all of a sudden our attention is being taken elsewhere. So attention is life. So with that being said, if you want a healthier relationship with social media, then you need to be intentional. You need to be intentional about creating a digital health plan. You know, just like physical health requires intentional habits, like eating right and sleep and movement and hydration, digital health requires intentional habits as well. Ask yourself, what is my purpose for using social media? Why do you use it? Why is it there? Why do you invest your time in it? Is it for education, for connection, for business, for entertainment, for encouragement? Be clear. Be clear about why you open those apps. Be clear about why you reach for your phone. To create a digital health plan, you want to be clear. What is the purpose for opening those apps? What is the purpose for going on your phone? What is the purpose for scrolling? If you have no purpose for doing that, if you're just killing time, wasting time, disconnecting, numbing, then you need to be honest about that. Is that a healthy thing to do? You know, sometimes it is. Sometimes we just need to disconnect. Sometimes we're overwhelmed or tired or what have you. I'm not saying that that's unacceptable, but you want to be clear about that. You know what? I'm going to take the next 15 minutes and just disconnect and see what's going on online. That's fine. That is clear. That is intentional. Set a timer, take the 15 minutes, and then move on. Okay? So be intentional. What is my purpose for using social media? Dig into that question. Ask that question. Really, really examine it, because you're not going to be able to create a digital health plan if you don't know why you're doing it. So why are you using social media? Why is it there? Why is it important? Okay? What boundaries do I need? We've talked about boundaries. Boundaries are a big thing. And I know boundaries are hard because sometimes people think boundaries are exclusionary, but boundaries are freedom. Go back and listen to the episode on boundaries. Boundaries are freedom. They're not restriction. We shouldn't see boundaries as restriction. We should see them as freedom. We should see them as freedom for other choices. So once you know your purpose for using social media, create good boundaries around it. Like no phones during mealtime, or no scrolling before bed, or no social media first thing in the morning, or designated usage times. That's how you create healthy boundaries. That's how you create a health plan. Create those boundaries. They're important. And ask, what content do I want to consume? Again, you know, when you're creating a physical health plan and you want to get healthier, then you talk about what I'm going to eat and what I'm not going to eat. Okay, Twinkies are no longer on the health plan, no matter how tasty they may be. Well, content needs to be the same thing. What content do I want to consume? Choose content that aligns with your values and goals. And if you don't know your values and goals, then maybe it's time to dig into that. If you want to use social media as a productive tool, then you want to apply it to your boundaries and goals. So you want to know what your boundaries and your values and your goals are. Spend time digging into those things. Consume and choose content that aligns with your values and goals. And you can do this. It doesn't take much to alter your algorithms on the social media platforms. If you want to alter your algorithm to get more positive quotes or get more daily inspiration, search that. Search that on Instagram. Follow some of those feeds, and your algorithm is going to change. The algorithm will go where your attention goes. So create content that you want to consume. Create things that you want to see, not things that it wants you to see. The advertising will change. The recommendations will change. The suggestions will change. When you create an algorithm that is wrapped around the content you want to consume, the social media platform will want to keep you there, so it will continue to throw in posts and videos and stuff that you want to see. Create that content in your algorithm. It takes a little bit of work up front, but the algorithm will go to work for you. That's part of how the algorithm works. And then ask yourself, what kind of influence do I want to have? Decide intentionally what you contribute to social media. Remember I said before, everybody that has an account is an influencer. Maybe you're not an influencer with millions of followers. That's okay, but you're still influencing. A plan creates direction. Have a plan of what you want to send out there, what you want to create, what you want to contribute to the whole, to the mass panoply of human knowledge and experience. What do you want to put out there? Do you want to put out there outrage and hurt and pain? Or do you want to put out there positivity and growth? We all have outrage and pain. It's all part of the human existence. And I'm not going to say that you shouldn't have it. But the question is, does it belong online? Does it belong in your feed? Or does something else belong in your feed? What influence do you want to have? That's how you create a digital plan. What is my purpose for using social media? Be clear about your purpose. What boundaries do I need in order to live into that purpose? What content do I want to consume that is going to align with my values and goals? And what influence do I want to have on those around me? How do I want to use this tool? One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is reconnecting with your actual life. When we create a plan, plans create direction. Direction creates the ability to overcome things that may not be as productive. Without a plan, habits usually take over. So you can create this plan and then move into that greater gift of reconnecting with life in its actual form. The world beyond screen still exists, my friends. Real conversations and real friendships and real sunsets and real experiences and real laughter and real memories and real moments. Social media often encourages us to observe life, but fulfillment comes from participating in life. There's a big difference between watching and living, between consuming and creating, between documenting and experiencing. Your real life deserves your attention. Don't spend so much time watching other people live that you forget to live your own life. That's a big thing. So many people just watch other people live. They just watch what other people do and they want to do it. And there's no reason why they can't do it, but they're so caught up in watching other people live. Reclaim your own life. Reclaim the actual world on the other side of the screen and live into it. Live into it. Enjoy it. And remember, it's about progress. It's about progress. Do not feel the need to become perfect, because that's not going to happen. That's not what this is about. I didn't lay this out there so that you could become perfect. You don't need to eliminate every distraction. You don't need to achieve some unrealistic standard. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Small improvements matter. A little more awareness, a little more intentionality, a few healthier boundaries, a little more presence, a little less mindless scrolling. These small changes compound over time. You don't need a complete digital transformation overnight. You simply need to begin making conscious choices. Progress always beats perfection. So it's about progress. It's about making small, sustainable steps that you can live into over time. It's not about making giant leaps overnight. I've said this many times. Giant leaps are unsustainable, but small progress isn't. So make those small changes, that small progress, one little step, one little thing. One little moment of paying attention to the world around you, then your screen. Progress always beats perfection. Okay? Progress always beats perfection. So as we come to the end of this series, as we begin to wrap up, let's return to what matters most. At the end of your life, you probably won't remember how many followers you had, how many likes you received, how many viral posts you created. Let me tell you, I have stood over many graves. I have seen many tombstones of people who have lived a full life and tombstones of people whose lives have been taken away far too quickly. And on those tombstones, most people write what matters most. And I've never seen this person had 1 million followers. This person was a viral influencer. I see marriage dates, I see family, I see, important hobbies, important experiences in life. What matters most? At the end of your life, you're probably not going to remember how many followers you had or how many likes you received or how many viral posts you created, but you will remember the people you loved, the relationships you built, the experiences you shared, the lives you impacted, the purposes you pursued, the memories you created. Technology is valuable, but it's not the purpose of life. It's a tool, a useful tool, but still a tool. Never allow the tool to replace the things it was meant to support. Never allow the tool to become the life, because it can never be. It can never be the life. It can only always be a tool. So, are you living intentionally or just living reactionally? That's one final question I'm going to ask you. Are you living intentionally or are you living reactively? That's really what this entire series has been about. Intentionality, awareness, choice. Because every day you have the opportunity to decide. Every day. You have the opportunity to decide what deserves your attention, what deserves your energy, what deserves your time, what deserves your life. Social media will always compete for those things, but you get to choose. And that choice is powerful. It is powerful. You are not a slave to it. You are not confined by it. You get to choose. And if you believe that you don't, I'm telling you that you do. I'm telling you that you do. Will the choice be hard? Absolutely. Will there be ramifications if you're really heavily into social media? Yeah, probably. But you still get to choose. You get to choose. I've said that, I've stood over many graves and I've walked with many people who have gone through addiction and have gone on the other side of addiction and cleaned up and sobered up. And let me tell you, that life is beautiful, but the process is really difficult. The drying out, the withdrawal, it's tough. Well, if social media is an addiction, well, then you will go through a process of, going through drying out, of getting rid of the addiction. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult and you're going to want to relapse, but it's worth it. You have the choice, and that choice is powerful. So choose. Live your life with intentionality. Live your life with intentionality and not reacting to everything else. All right, so I'm going to give you one final challenge out of this series. I'm going to invite you into a digital reset for the next month. I know, and 30 days is left. For the next month, track your screen time. Track your screen time. Like I said to you before, I get a notification every Sunday morning about how many hours per day I'm on my phone. And I have a goal. And my goal is I usually am right around my goal. Sometimes I'm a little above my goal and sometimes I'm below my goal, but I have a goal. Track your screen time. Your phone will do that. There are settings on your phone that will track your screen time. Track it. Just get that information. How many hours a day are you on your phone? Track it. Establish one healthy boundary. Just one. Put your phone down during eating, or stop scrolling before you go to bed, or take the first hour before you open up your phone. Spend time phone free every day. And if that means you need to put the phone in the kitchen drawer, then do it. If that means that you need to turn your phone off or put it on airplane mode, then do it. Spend phone free time every day. Curate your feed intentionally. Like I told you, you can do that. The algorithm will do that for you. You just need to have a little intentionality. Find those daily quotes. Find those cute videos of kittens, whatever it is. Intentionally curate your feed. You can do it. Prioritize real conversations over the next 30 days. Practice gratitude. Create more than you consume. Use social media with purpose. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be perfect. Just be intentional. Be intentional about how you use the tool. That's really what this is about. Create the awareness and be intentional about how you use the tool. That's what I got for you for today. I hope this was helpful. I hope this series was helpful. I really, truly do. If it is, put it out there. Put it out there for others. You're not the only one that's dealing with this. You're not the only one that's thinking about this. Social media has swept across the world. So if you think that there's someone else that could be helped by it, send it to them, email it, direct message them, post it up on your social media feeds, put it out on the platforms, whatever you can do. Get it out there so that others can tap into this. Because at Grace Life Coaching, we want you to be the best you.